blessingness, and grace. We are grateful for the gift of being who we are and grateful for the loves that give life meaning. Our minister is Reverend Bob Janis-Dillon. I am Kathy Atwell, the worship associate for this morning. We are grateful to have attendees both in person in the sanctuary as well as virtually via Zoom. A big welcome to everyone wherever you're attending. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious faith that carries no creed and welcomes all seekers. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are in life's journey, you are welcome here. We are guided by a set of principles and written sources that encompasses the many ways we come to know and understand the world, the universe, and the divine. We affirm that Black Lives Matter. We are a welcoming congregation for the LGBTQ+ community. We are a congregational affiliate of the Ulster Immigration Defense Network, and we are an active voice in the effort to address climate change. Community circles are small groups of members who live in the same area. Get connected to your group. If you'd like to contact someone here at UU Catskills, a contact list is shown on your screen. If you are a visitor and would like to be added to our mailing list, you can put your name and email address in the chat area on Zoom or talk with any member here in the sanctuary, and they'll help you find the right person to make that request. Thank you to everyone who is assisting with today's services. Our hybrid services are made possible by our technical team, Bruce Wildy, who is here in the sanctuary, our tech host today, Jenny O'Grade-Giddy, also in the sanctuary, and our shusher, Catherine Catabini, is also in the sanctuary. We encourage you to read your June newsletter that is distributed through our email list and on our website, uucatskills.org. Upcoming events for the month are in your newsletter, and I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Bob for some other announcements for this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So I've got my hands full this morning. Lots of stuff. For one thing, we have our basket fundraiser, and a thank you to Carol and Erin and our fundraising team who put this together. This is a banned books fundraiser, which features some banned books. There's a banned books fair in Kingston, July 2nd, by the way. So these are books that have been banned in some districts, schools, libraries, so you can have them yourself at home. So thank you to our donation. So we're going to have several baskets that are going to be raffled off in 2 weeks on the 19th. So the seed for tickets, please see Carol. Carol, you want to? I hope you've contributed that. Proceeds go to this congregation and our ministry. So we're grateful for that. We're also collecting food. I'm delighted to see a full truck out there. We said fill the truck, and the truck is pretty full. It could be fuller. So thank you to everyone who brought food, non-perishables, the baby formula is sorely needed, all kinds of stuff. See Karen for more details. Where is Karen? She's greeting. There she is. You saw Karen as you walked through the door. We'll be collecting throughout the summer. As you know, people are hungry. This is a hard time. So you can always, there's a basket right there in the hallway. And if you're going supermarket and you just think, I'll just get a couple of other things for somebody else, drop them off here. We partner with the Clinton Street, the food pantry, and I think it's the Methodist Church does a wonderful ministry, and all of that goes to people who need it, and the Immigrant Defense Network as well. So please keep bringing in those donations. They're sorely needed and very much appreciated. Two more brief announcements related also about food. There'll be food here for those who are in person. So please do eat outside. COVID is still with us, unfortunately. So we'll be it's a beautiful day. So eat outside. And then if you would stay for half an hour after the service, in Zoom, we'll have our breakout rooms for that half an hour, so get to know people. And then half an hour after the service at about 12 o'clock or so, we will have our annual meeting. It's a very important part of the life of this congregation. We're a democratic organization and the members make the decisions. So we're going to have our annual meeting. We will try to keep it fairly brief this year. It means everybody who wants to say something can, but many of us have got a Pride Festival to go to. There's one in New Paltz. If anyone wants to come along. It's going to be an excellent afternoon. But do stay for what I hope will be a fairly brief and yet very informative annual and celebratory annual meeting. I think that covers it. We now have our prelude, and thank you to Bill Toole for playing our prelude. It is by Tchaikovsky from the Seasons, Barcarolle. We'll light our chalice this morning with our collective chalice lighting. If you would say with me if you wish. We light this chalice in grateful, loving community. Even in the darkest of times, may its flame light paths to courage, justice, and hope. And our unison affirmation. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love to all human beings. May we know once again that we are not isolated, but connected in wonder and joy to mystery and miracle in the universe, in this community, and in each other. On this Pride Sunday, on this annual meeting Sunday, on behalf of all our membership, I want to welcome you again to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Catskills and express that we hope this might be a place of support, of inspiration, of consolation. We hope this place might be a beacon to a better world, striving to work locally and beyond for human rights, equality and justice, and ecological responsibility. We hope this might be a spiritual home for you. If you are lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender, welcome home. If you are queer, questioning, intersex, non-binary, or straight, welcome home. If you are African American, Asian American, Latino American, white American, not American at all, from anywhere in the world, of any blessed ancestors, welcome home. If you are far from the land of your birth, or if you've lived your whole life in Ulster County, welcome home. If you are differently abled, if your gifts are not often recognized by society, if some people find your very existence problematic, welcome home. This is why we are here, to welcome one another into the fullness of being, the vitality of life. It is good to be together here today. Let us gather our hearts in integrity and celebration. So with that, let us sing our opening hymn. The number isn't on the order of service, apologies, and it's not that one.
It's not that one.
So if you would, at home it'll be on your screens, thank you, Bruce, and it's in your teal hymnals, which I lost my teal hymnal. Thank you. Number 1053, thank you. 1053, How Could Anyone? Beautiful hymn.
We'll sing it twice.
We'll sing it twice, sing it through.
Play it through once before we sing.
Bill will play it through once and then we'll sing it through twice. It's a beautiful hymn. Let's sing together and gather our hearts. Now is the time for our heart story, when we tell a story that speaks to the heart. And we like to introduce the story with the wonder box, because we are people of wonder. And also, we often wonder what's in the wonder box. Would anyone like to open the wonder box here today? Oh, I saw a hand. Was that Maddie? If you'd like to open it and just show what's in the wonder box, I wonder what's in the, to introduce. What's in there? You want to hold up a couple of those? Animals, that's right. There's, I don't know if you can see them all here, but there's a couple of cows and an elephant and a couple of pigs and a couple of sheep and a dragon and ducks, all kinds of animals. Yeah. So give those to you. Do you want to hang on to them for now? There you go. So lots of animals. So one of the things I've noticed about animals is there are lots and lots of different kinds. In fact, I could have put thousands more animals in there. And one of the things about the world is there are lots of different kinds of everything, lots of different kinds of animals, and there's also lots of different kinds of people. And I mentioned this Sunday is Pride Sunday, and one of the things we celebrate at Pride is that people are different, and yet we all are united in being different. So one of the symbols of Pride, which is on two of my stoles, these scarves that I wear, are a rainbow. And as some of you know, one of the things about the rainbow is that every color is beautiful, right? All of these colors. You might have a favorite one. Do you have a favorite one on here? Maybe you have a favorite color. But we all of the colors are beautiful. If it was just one color, a rainbow wouldn't be nearly as beautiful, would it? So the rainbow is about saying that, we actually, diversity actually is better than us all being all the same. And we celebrate lots of different types of diversity. So we're gonna have a story now. I know I said 2 weeks ago we would have the procession of the species, but a couple of our children are home with COVID, so we're sending our love to them. And I know they're a part of this. We're so grateful for Zoom that we're all together. So good to see you. And we've got a story now by Leah. It's not Miller, is it? No, Leah Morris. Thank you. A storyteller. We're going to see if this works. And this is a story about home. I mentioned in the opening reading home, right? So I'd like you to try and think about a place that for you is home. It may be this place, whether you're gathering in person here or near. It may be your actual home. Sometimes we're lucky if our homes feel like home, or maybe it's somewhere far away that feels like home. But I want you to kind of keep that sense of home to think, what is it like to feel like you are at home?
Let me tell you about the lizard song. Once upon a time, there was a bear who lived in the forest. And she was walking along, minding her own business, when suddenly she heard an interesting song. I'm so happy, 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 this rock is my home. I'm so happy, 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 this rock is my home. And the bear saw that on a rock there was a lizard singing a song. And it was a happy, wonderful song. And the bear thought, I wish I had a happy song. And then the bear got a great idea. You, lizard, would you teach me that song?
Feel free to sing along if you learn it.
It goes like this. I'm so happy, 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 this rock is my home. I'm so happy, 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 this rock is my home. Oh, that is nice, thank you. And so the bear went on her way. And as she was walking along, she practiced that song. I'm so happy, happy, happy. I'm so happy, happy, happy. But what she found is that she couldn't remember the words. So the next day, the bear went back to that same rock in hopes that she would find the lizard. And there was the lizard, dancing and singing to itself. And so she listened. Lizard, can you sing me that song again, please? Why not? I'm so happy, 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 this rock is my home. I'm so happy, 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 this rock is my home. Got it. Thank you. You remember it well. I hope so too. And so the bear went on her way, and she sang the song to herself. I'm so happy, happy, happy. And again, she had a hard time remembering the words to the song. So the next day, she returned to the rock. And this time, she found the lizard sleeping. And so she decided not to wake the lizard. She would just grab him, pick him up, and carry him to her home.
Usually you want to leave lizards where they are.
And when she got the lizard home to her den, she waited patiently until he woke up. Where am I? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. I just brought you back to my home. This is a den, my home. And I was hoping that when you woke up, you would teach me your song again. Well, I can see heard the song there. Why is that? Because you don't have a rock. That means I can never sing a happy song. I don't have a rock. Well, I didn't see that exactly. You can sing a happy song if you want. You just have to change up the words a little. For example, I'm so happy, happy, happy. This den is my home. That is the best song I've ever heard. Let's sing it together. I'm so happy, happy, happy. This den is my home. I'm so happy, happy, happy. This den is my home. And from that day on, the bear never did forget the song. Great. Can I go home now? Who are you talking to? Goodbye. This story reminds us of the importance of celebrating our blessings, recognizing the places in our lives where we are bountiful and blessed.
There's a wonderful song after that, but we'll share it maybe another time. But here is to the places in our lives where we are bountiful and blessed, and we can maybe help provide that for one another, just as Lizard did for Bear. So, with that, let us sing our children out, and with love, our child out. As you leave a friendly place, often back to every place, may the kindness which you learn guide your hearts till you return. Now, as is our tradition here, we have a time of joys and sorrows when we all are welcome to share the joys and sorrows in their lives and the lives of those we love. If you're here, if you would raise your hand, and I'll bring the microphone to you so we can hear you. If you're joining us from online, if you could put it in the chat. And before our time of, we have a brief blessing. I should have put it in the order of service. This is by Cricket Hall, and it's a wonderful blessing called Rainbow Blessing. It draws from the 23rd Psalm as you hear, but also in honor of Pride. Well, no, it doesn't. Actually, it draws from the Irish blessing, which you may be familiar with, and it draws on Pride Sunday, and I think it's a wonderful blessing. Rainbow Blessing by Cricket Hall. May the drag stage rise to meet you. May the world rise to accept and embrace you. May the rainbow of love enfold you. May your fluidity never be hindered. May your pronouns always be supported and your dead name forgotten. May those who invite you into your life remain loyal. May your chosen family lift you up and catch you when you need it. May you be able to catch others when they need it. May you remember, sensitivity is not weakness, but instead a great strength welling up inside you. And until we meet again, may you remember that you are loved and you are divine. Hear, hear. Rainbow Blessing by Cricket Hall. Now we will have our meditative hymn. You can remain seated for this one. It'll lead us into the quiet of our meditative silence. It's Spirit of Life, which is number 123 in your hymnals. We'll sing it through twice. Bill will play a brief intro, and then we'll sing Spirit of Life twice. 123. May our lives be filled with spirit and passion and integrity and verve. Be seated.
The half-plate donations this June will go to the Hudson Valley LGBTQ Center. The center's mission is to strengthen, support, and celebrate our diverse LGBTQ+ community in achieving its fullest potential and creating a more equitable world. You can donate using our donation page on our website with the Vanco mobile app or PayPal. You will see the QR codes on your order of service for the Vanco and PayPal also. Our offering is Somewhere from West Side Story by Leonard Bernstein, performed by Bill Toole.
Thank you for all the gifts that sustain this fellowship of this community of love and support. Who you are is a blessing, who you are is a gift, who you are is a good thing. How you are made, your body, your mind, your heart is a blessing, a gift, a good thing. Who you love is a blessing, a gift, a good thing. All that you are and the life you are given, the life you live is a blessing, a gift, a good thing. These are simple truths, but it takes many of us a lifetime to live into them. Some of us far too often are told a very different message. We are told negative messages that can take years to overcome, but they can be overcome with love, with support, with community, with pride. This month, June, is Pride Month throughout the USA and throughout the world as well. Pride is of vital importance to LGBTQ+ people. Pride is a living, breathing message of empowerment, acceptance, liberation, and hope. A celebration of identity, recognizing who we are as beautiful and holy and good. It is rooted in the struggle of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, and intersex people for equal rights. And here we lift up the names of Pride's founders, Craig Rodwell, Fred Sargent, Ellen Brody, and Linda Rhodes. It is unabashedly for and about the LGBTQ community. For straight allies, it is an opportunity to vocally, intentionally support our LGBTQ siblings, our family. At the same time, Pride is a joyful example for all of us how we are stronger together, how we can support one another, and highlighting the journey to get to know our own stories as holy and our own lives and identities as a blessing. So we are going to hear now from 4 of our wonderful members about the blessing of our lives, ourselves, and each other. Thank you so much, Vicki, Polly, Judith, and Joyce for sharing with us this morning. And we're going to start with, it is Vicky first, right? Vicky, are you ready? With Vicky O'Donnell. Thank you.
Police raid at the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in New York City, on a hot night in June 1969, was led by a bunch of drag queens and lesbians. That is why June is Gay Pride Month. The Stonewall riots became a rallying cry for justice for LGBTQ people. I grew up in New York City and didn't come out until 1975, a few years after Stonewall. By the time I came out, the police raids had stopped and the gay community was starting to become a political force across America. I lived in Brooklyn, but all of my socializing occurred in Greenwich Village, which was our gay mecca. The lesbian bar that I went to was half a block from the Stonewall Inn, which is now a national monument. After I came out, I heard horror stories from older lesbians and gay men about pre-Stonewall life. My own uncle, who was gay and a Navy veteran and an aeronautics engineer, told me about a friend of his who was stalked and murdered after emerging from a gay bar. After Stonewall, I had less to fear of being arrested for being who I was, but I felt safer by remaining in the closet in public settings and especially at work. There still existed a threat of violence against gay people. I remember being threatened by a man with a knife when I was taking a subway home from Manhattan after a night of socializing. I was taking the train with a friend who was wearing a black leather jacket. The man saw us as our lesbian selves and didn't like it. We stayed near a crowd of people and avoided an attack. The first closet that I chose to emerge from was the one I maintained with my family. The first person I came out to was my sister. After I told her, she said, "I already knew that." I eventually came out to my mother, who had previously asked me if I had met any nice men at work. And I later came out to the rest of my family, bringing my partners to holiday and family events. Fear and shame keeps the closet door closed for many LGBTQ people. I was always afraid of being rejected and seen as the other or a freak or being subjected to verbal abuse or violence. And having been raised Roman Catholic, I was also told that being gay was a sin. I felt lonely and depressed. I felt as if no one understood me. When I finally came out, I left the Catholic Church. To me, a moment of truth is a moment of presence, a moment of grace, a moment when there is a power at work that brings us into a common territory, a territory where human souls connect with one another and the transcendent. That moment of truth happened for me when I came out at the age of 23. Coming out was my acceptance of who I am as a lesbian to myself, to the LGBTQ community, and to other people who never truly knew me until then. Before that time, I didn't consider that I had any real friends because I was always hiding a part of myself. Coming out to me was first and foremost about acknowledging that I was lesbian and that it was okay to be who I am. Then I found my way to the LGBTQ+ community that welcomed me. Connecting to community was balm for my soul, and it was a moment of self-love, a moment of grace. Later, I found Unitarian Universalism and felt welcomed and accepted here. The first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, is a value that does not say, except for those people. Reverend Dr. Rebecca Ann Parker says that our first principle is based in an unshakable conviction, calling us to self-respect and respect for others. And it was here in this hallowed sanctuary that I married my dear wife, Leela, in 2018. Marriage was never on my list of possibilities ever since I knew who I was. It was a whole new identity that I took on that day. I am in agreement with UU Minister Sarah Campbell, who said that spirituality is the flower and the compost heap. I could not be who I am without the hardship of the homophobic closet and the joy of coming out in a more accepting world. I am blessed to know that I am worthy to myself and in God's eyes. I now deeply believe that I am a blessed child of God.
Vicki O'Doherty. Thank you so much, Vicki. Our next speaker is Polly Pfeiffer.
I think the greatest blessing in my life is that I got to grow old. I came out in 1972. This was nearly a decade before anyone could have imagined anything as horrific as the AIDS pandemic. But the early years of the AIDS pandemic were truly dreadful. We didn't know what the cause was. The virus had not been identified. We didn't know how to take care of people with AIDS. So to a large extent, we watched in horror as people got very sick, went through a great deal of pain, and died. So as I rejoice in getting to grow old, I remember many people that I loved who didn't get to grow old. So now I find myself in good health and ready to continue. One of the most fortunate things in my life as a gay person is my family. They were always supportive, always loving, always proud. I was never told I was going to go to hell because I was gay. And one year, I took my boyfriend home for Christmas with my family, and Mother had presents under the tree for him. So I am grateful for that situation, and I remember that so many queer people didn't have that kind of support from family. Many have had conflict, scorn, and sometimes complete rejection from their family. So now I am ready to go on. Bob Dylan said, "One who is not busy being born is busy dying." So I'm trying to find as many ways as I can to stay busy being born. I make music, I make art, I have good friends, I have ways to continue learning. I am very happy to be involved in a project for teaching organic gardening and basic building skills to young people, teaching them ecological awareness, teaching them the importance of learning to work cooperatively. So I'm going to keep on with these, all the ways I can to stay busy being born, right up until the time that fate tells me my time's up.
Thank you, Polly. Now we'll hear from Judith Chase.
I don't know that I can speak after that. I'm honored to be part of this podium today. Sorry, unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. During a weekend of sightseeing in New York City, Jim and I learned that our oldest son, David, was gay. He'd conferred with a college friend on a trip who'd asked him a simple question. If you don't tell your parents, are you prepared to lie about who you are for the rest of the next 40 or so years that they're likely to be alive? That day, when David stressed to us these words,
We can't hear. Can't hear.
Judith is frozen.
Yes, I agree. It's frozen.
Have her start over.
Or where she said something about her son David.
When you get it fixed, please have her start over. This is so important.
By even holding hands in public. Now, on one hand, I knew this was all a bunch of hooey, but part of me still believed it.
Record that so we can look at it
After all,
later?
wasn't I a crazy, sinful criminal? Over the years, I've worked to rid myself of my internalized homophobia, but it never seemed to be entirely gone. While I was open and honest with my gay friends, it never felt safe with my family, coworkers, and straight friends. So I had one life with my gay friends and another everywhere else. I could have been the original poster child for don't ask, don't tell. By the time I was 30, I felt that I didn't need much to hide any longer. But then Billie Jean King was forced out and lost most of her endorsements. If this could happen to a celebrity, how safe was I? I was 35 before I saw lesbians portrayed positively in the film Desert Hearts. For the first time, I saw myself reflected on the screen in a positive light. No one killed themselves at the end, and there was at least hope of a happily ever after ending. Not great, but at least it was a start. 10 years later, I was 45 and things were looking up. It was the mid-90s and gay rights had made many inroads. But then Ellen DeGeneres came out publicly and her sitcom was canceled. It was an open secret that Ellen was gay. No one was particularly surprised. But her crime wasn't that she was gay. She spoke the love that dare not speak its name. She flaunted it. Finally, Mary and I moved to New York in 2010. Although same-sex marriage was not yet legal here, New York did recognize out-of-state marriages, and it finally made sense for us to get married. Of course, we celebrated our marriage with all of our friends, our gay ones. At the end of the year, we decided to send out a holiday letter with our new address and the big wedding news. We filled out our cards and stuffed the letters, but there was a small pile left, and Mary finally admitted to being uncomfortable sharing the news with these remaining people, and I was so relieved because I felt the same way. Some of those cards were for our homophobic family members. Others were meant for older folks who we thought might be uncomfortable with us flaunting it. So we printed another version with the marriage paragraph omitted. I was 58. And the internalized homophobia was still there after all of those decades. Not my proudest moment. Most of us, when we meet new people, share safe and superficial information first. This is my spouse. We have children, grandchildren. We work at X. And as we get to know them better, we share more personal information. But as a lesbian, that didn't feel safe. I wasn't about to tell strangers that I was a lesbian. So my life continued to be compartmentalized. Saying the words "my wife" is the same as announcing I'm a lesbian. All of those not safe alarms would go off. Hi, I'm Joyce, I'm a lesbian. That just wasn't going to happen. It took me years to finally be comfortable saying those words. And then when I was finally able to say, I'm Joyce and this is my wife, Mary, it freed me. First of all, it's very clear in a way that partner is not. But it also gets that lesbian thing out in the open from the get-go. If someone has an issue, I'd rather know sooner than later. I finally learned that if they do have a problem, it's their problem, it's not mine. I wish that 50 years ago, I had felt that I could be my true, authentic self. Showing others who you really are is the biggest gift that you can give. Wherever you are in your journey and however you identify, I hope that you can show your own pride. So here I am at 70. I think my homophobia is gone. Mostly gone, pretty much gone. Well, it's close enough. Will it resurface? Maybe. If nothing else, I'm an example that it's never too late to get it right.
Thank you so much, Joyce. We have been in the presence of something awesome and holy here, the presence of integrity and truth. We heard from Vicky the power of a moment of truth, that place where we meet others and we meet the transcendent in integrity and truth. We heard from Paulie the blessing of being able and the privilege of being able to grow old as we think of those who were not able to share that privilege with us. And we have the opportunity to keep being born with each day. We heard from Judith how great that sharing of your truth is, how you might, how better it is than having to live a lie or not tell the truth for 40 years, and how it also gives you something to talk about on the ride home. And we heard from Joyce how strong that pressure can be to not speak the truth in an unfair world where there is danger and risk, to speak simple truths where there shouldn't be, and yet the liberating courage it takes to tell the truth. Just wanted to highlight what a message we have heard today, how important that truth-telling is and how pride is a part of that truth-telling. The poet Audre Lorde, poet and lesbian woman Audre Lorde, writes, "If I didn't define myself for myself, I would be crunched into other people's fantasies for me and eaten alive." We tell our story to ourselves and to each other to remember who we are. And that was true from the first Pride Sunday, what Vicky talked about after the Stonewall riots. And it's been true since, that importance to tell our story. And though it belongs to no denomination or religious group, Pride is, as Vicky said, very much in keeping with Unitarian Universalist values of the inherent worth and dignity of each person. It's an opportunity to lift that up. And it's all the more important now than ever. All the more important to affirm, to celebrate ourselves and each other, and particularly our lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, and intersex beloved members of this community and of this wider world. Last year, there were 375 documented murders of transgender people. And homophobia and hate are far more widespread than just Westboro Baptist Church. There are many places, way too many places in this country where it isn't safe to be gay. There are far too many teenagers, even today in 2022, who feel there is something wrong with them because that's the message they get from their family and from a hostile society. And so They may feel pressure to change the simple, inescapable, and rather wonderful fact of their attraction for others, of their love, of their expression of love. But being gay is not wrong. Being gay is wonderful. It's how we are, and our diversity as human beings is not wrong. Being gay is natural and wonderful. Pride is a celebration of lesbian and gay identity, but we can all draw some inspiration from it, because presumably all of us, albeit some of us to a lesser degree, have had to fight for our story at some time. All of us are in this life story where we have to, at one time or another, define ourselves for ourselves and determine that we're just going to be who we are to the best of our abilities. Life is an adventure of discovery and revelation. We're always learning new things about ourselves and about each other, and community provides us a place where we can do that, hopefully. And this is our heritage as Unitarian Universalists. It's not that you can believe whatever you want. Any intolerance, any hatreds or prejudice, and we all may have some, anything we cling to will be continually challenged throughout our lifetime as Unitarian Universalists. It's not so much that we can believe absolutely anything, it's that we are called by love to be an expansive movement of the Spirit. Love looks outward. Love finds a way to not just be tolerant of one another, but to grow to know and love one another. Whereas hate, which we have seen too often in our society, especially in recent weeks, hate is reductive. Hate reduces things, says it's all too much, all too bewildering, so here is the explanation for everything. And it excludes entire groups of people, and it does more than exclusion, it does violence. So we need to continue to love one another. We need to be a strong voice for inclusion, for diversity, to the fact that we all are beautiful and good, and that all expressions of sexuality are beautiful and good. It means we get to know ourselves better so that we can love ourselves as we know others. And it means we keep growing, keep singing our song. Love challenges us to be who we are and be there for one another. Let's keep finding ways to be there for one another in this congregation and far beyond these walls. We live in a world where homophobia and all sorts of other hatreds are all too powerful. It's all too tempting for hate to constrict and control our diverse and beautiful world, to send a message of less than, which is not accurate, not true, not the place of truth, not the place of love. We need to sing loud and sing proud a different message. I don't know what love is going to ask you to do today or in the week ahead or in the year ahead. I just know love is always coaxing us to show up for ourselves and each other. That's what integrity means, to be who we really truly are and to welcome each other to this place of home, which is the place where we welcome each other to be who we really truly are, with integrity, with fullness, with vitality, to be who we are. Let's be proud of this love in our hearts. Let's keep showing up for it and make of our life stories a glorious tapestry and a glorious adventure. May it be so. Amen. Let us sing together our closing hymn. It's hymn number 170. We are a gentle, angry people. 170. Gentle, angry people, we are singing for our lives. We are gentle, angry people. are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for love. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for love. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our love. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our love. You have heard the message. Now sing out your own message. Be who you are. Be bold. Wear many colors. Sing loud enough for someone else to hear you, because someone else may need to hear it. Someone always needs to hear a message of hope, a message of peace, a message of love, a message of integrity, of being who you are and loving one another, true to who you are and true to who we are, in right relationship with one another. So let us sing loud, sing proud, and be together in beloved community. May it be so. Amen. We extinguish our chalice lighting with these words. We extinguish this flame, not the light of truth, warmth of love, please be in our hearts until we are together again. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Thank you so much to our tech team, our music team, our food team, and especially our speakers here today. Thank you for sharing of your lives. Stay on Zoom if you're on Zoom to meet somebody in our breakout rooms. We'll have